So I'm doing this for Michel Clivio, Clivio. Um, Basically put a comment on one of my videos. I asked him to put it in English. He said I was right. He was right, and I didn't want to admit it. So I'm gonna do this video, and part of the point of this video is to illustrate the importance of, at minimum, grammatical points. I can't understand what this guy is trying to say to me. He might be right. He might have the answers to everything, but I can't understand what he's saying. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to kind of try and make sense of what he's saying and make comments. So he starts out, Mr. Redneck Person, guns are the weapons, cowards. I'm sorry, I'm kicking the tripod. What I think he's saying is guns are the weapons of cowards. So anyone who uses a gun is a coward. That means everybody in the military is a coward. A lot of police officers are cowards. A lot of people who save lives are cowards. Interesting. I'd like to hear your definition of a hero then. You people say that the meaning behind the Second Amendment is to defend yourself from a tyrannical government when the militarization of the police and the weapons mass destruction are funded by you idiots that fund the gun companies. They can conquer and take your guns away any effing time. And also, a lot of these notes, their comments or their comments, no commas or anything. It's just like a big old run on. Yes, the meaning of behind the Second Amendment is to protect myself from the government. That is the purpose of the Second Amendment. It is. The militarization of the police and the weapons mass destruction are funded by you idiots. I guess in a way, because I pay taxes. My taxes pay the police buy guns. I'm not really sure where the weapons of mass destruction come in, but okay, I guess, I guess yes. Because I pay my taxes, the taxes go to the United States government, the United States government builds weapons of mass destruction. So, okay, yes. Sorry, I don't really understand what that has to do with this. Anyway, and then I fund the gun companies. They can conquer and take you guys over. So the gun companies are going to come and take my guns away from me that I bought from them. What's the point of that? Gun companies like gun owners. We buy their guns. We buy more guns than the police and the government do. Now, Mr. Redneck Person, guns should have never existed. Nobody should own a gun. It is too easy to kill somebody with a gun, Mr. Redneck Person. Real quick, I like that you're calling me Mr. Not too much of a fan of Redneck Person, but appreciate that. Thank you, sir. The whole guns should never existed thing, I don't even bother debating things like that because they have. Oh well. It's too easy to kill somebody with a gun. Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, it's not as... Other weapons are not as complex as a lot of people like to think they are, but yeah, guns are easy. Knives are easy. Baseball bats are easy. Bombs are easy, so yeah. And plus, you can use any kind of impact weapon, bladed weapon, or improvised weapon to save your life. But are the odds of that happening? You live in fear, you're paranoid, and if you are tough, you don't need gun. You have your hands for a reason. Do you think a 70-year-old can even fire guns? She would have a much better of smacking her cane in the guy head. So yes, you can use other weapons. But what you're basically saying is, my choices are a gun or another weapon. But why are you picking on the gun? If you're saying I can use any weapon to defend myself, why is the gun bad? But the knife is not bad. The baseball bat's not bad. You know, the sword is not bad. The gun is bad, but the other ones are okay. The odds of that happening. Basically, I think he's saying, what are the odds of that happening? Okay, and this is not really beautiful, but this is an excellent way to explain this to people. Every single time you turn on the news or look at the newspaper or hear about a crime happening, that's the chance right there. Those are the odds. Every time you hear about a murder, there's a chance somebody could have defended themselves. Every time you hear about a rape, that's a chance that somebody could have defended themselves. That's why I love it when anti-gunners will say things like, "You see, look at how much crime there is. We need to get rid of guns." Because I love to sit there and say, well, you do realize that if that person had a gun to defend themselves, maybe that crime would have happened. You're showing a perfect example of why people need to have guns to defend themselves against those crimes. Do you think a 70-year-old can even fire a gun? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen 70-year-old people fire guns. Go on. I know you're on YouTube. Look it up on YouTube. You will see 80-year-old people firing guns. You can look up on YouTube a video of a guy with no arms shooting a gun. She would have a much better of smacking her cane in the guy head. I think what you're saying is she would have a much better chance of smacking her cane in the guy's head. If you're a bad guy, which would you rather do? Take a whack to the melon with a cane or a 38 slug to the chest? Because if you say the cane to the head, then that person should pick the 38 to your chest. You're acknowledging that a 38 to the chest is much more effective than getting whacked in the head with a cane. Guns are a disgrace to mankind, and if you are strong, you don't need it. Oh, I forgot to put that one in there. This goes back to the first other point. If you are tough, you don't need gun. Guns are a disgrace to mankind, and if you are strong, you don't need it. So, are you telling me that only the strong have the right to defend themselves, and the people who are weak don't? Is that what you're saying? Is what you're saying that, let's say, a 6'5", 210-pound, muscle-bound dude can prey on a 5'5" weak guy, and it's okay? That's what you're saying? You're saying that this weak guy does not have the right to defend himself? No, you're wrong. If that's what you're saying, wrong. That's why there's a quote, God made men, Sam Colt made them equal. Because if you give, and I don't mean to be sexist, but if you give a 5'5", 96-pound girl a 38 special, she could put a 6'6", 210-pound professional fighter on his back. That's why guns are called the equalizers. What world do you live in where you're constantly ready all the time, and another, most people who break into your house just want your TV? He's probably his father who is dead and cannot afford health insurance. That means you have the right to kill him. You can only use the necessary amount of force, Mr. Redneck person. The world I live in, where I am constantly ready all the time, is the world that is currently happening right now. I know it's crazy, but I like to be prepared for almost anything. Okay, I'm prepared if I get a flat tire. I'm prepared if something catches on fire with a fire extinguisher. I'm prepared if the power goes out. I have flashlights and candles. I'm prepared if the dead rise from the graves and start feasting on the living. I'm prepared for that. Not very well, I might add, but I'm prepared for that. But I'm also prepared for all those other things. What's wrong with that? Most people who break into your house just want your TV. I'll grant you that one. The vast majority of burglaries and even home invasions, to an extent, are more for getting crap to sell for money, for drugs, or what have you. But there are those ones where people break into your house because they want to kill you. Maybe it's because they're just crazy. Maybe it's because they're confused. They think they're at somebody else's house who wronged them in some way. You know, maybe they're out to get you because you're related to somebody that wronged them. Either way, how do I know? How do I know that that person breaking into my house at 2 o'clock in the morning is there to steal my TV or to kill me? I don't. So you know what I do? I prepare for the worst. There's a saying called prepare for the worst and hope for the best. When I'm hearing somebody kicking my door in at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm prepared whether it's somebody there to kill me or if it's the Girl Scouts with my Thin Mints. Either way, I'm prepared. I hope it's my Thin Mints, but I'm ready for it's the psycho killer. I'm not really going to get into this whole, it doesn't matter if you can afford health, and I don't care why you're breaking in my house to steal my TV. I don't want you stealing my dang TV. I worked for it. I paid for it. It's my TV. You can only use the amount of force necessary. This is what I'm thinking, saying. You can only use the amount of force necessary. Yeah, that's true. You know who determines the amount of force necessary in this situation? Me. You're breaking into my house. I determine how much force is necessary to stop you. Now, the next part, the police, prosecutors, and possibly a jury judge determine whether I was correct or not. That's the part a lot of people don't understand. Is that comes next. That comes after I have done what I've done. You're breaking in my house at 2 o'clock in the morning. I put 3.45 caliber rounds to your chest to kill you. The police come, they're going to determine whether that was justifiable homicide or not. That's an immediate decision. They're going to determine whether to arrest me or not on the spot. Sometimes it goes straight to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor looks at it and determines. It's going to go to the prosecutor most likely either way, whether they say, you know what, this looks justifiable. Go back to bed. We'll talk to you later. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it. But I'm the one who determines that. They're the ones who determine whether I was wrong or right. And in owning an AR-15 automatic assault is right, comma, but not universal health care, education, and social services. And by registering guns, the government can take them away from you. So by registering my car, the government going to take it away. I'm not really sure what you're trying to say at this first part, but yes, owning an AR-15 rifle is okay. I'm not going to get into universal health care and education and social services because that's another video. By registering guns, the government can take them away from you. So by registering my car, the government can take it away from, is going to take away. We're not saying that they will. When we're talking against gun registration, we're not saying they will take them away. What we're saying is that gives them the opportunity to. If you don't know what I have, how can you come to take it? By registering your car? Yes, they can come and take it. They can impound your car. They have it on a list of who has which car. For that reason. Why do you think they do that? So they know who has what cars. Why do they need to know who's got what cars? Because if it's a hit and run or stolen or anything like that, it's really quick and easy to find whose it was. Am I saying that's a good thing or a bad thing? Neither way. But why? What if they want to take your cars away? That's where they're going to go. They're going to go to those registered lists. You know who's still going to have their cars? The criminals who never registered their cars. So, if we register guns and they come and take our guns, you know who's going to still have their guns? The criminals who never registered their guns. Mr. Redneck person, Mr. Redneck, please realize that guns are simply a reflection of own insecurity and paranoia. Whose? Mine? I do admit I have a little paranoia issue. I hate things that have eyeballs. I mean, if you look around, you'll notice the only things in here that have eyeballs is that target over there and a couple pictures. That's the only things that I have that look at me. If there's a thing on the wall that looks like an eyeball, I don't like it. In fact, here, let me show you something real quick. I keep my webcam covered up. Yeah, I admit, I got a little paranoid. That has nothing to do with my love of firearms. Insecurities? I guess, yes, I have some insecurities, but it has nothing to do with guns. Nothing to do with that. You know, I think I have the same insecurities as a lot of people, you know. I haven't done enough in this world to matter and all that fun crap. But it had nothing to do with my guns. I'd feel the same way if I didn't have guns. Why should I have my guns registered or taken away from I am not crazy? I don't know. Why are you telling me that you shouldn't have your guns taken away and you're not crazy? That's my question. Who's saying anything? You're saying you should. You're basically saying you're for gun registration, but now you're saying you're not. I don't know what that comment even means. LOL. Who is to say you're not crazy? You are crazy. You just don't know it. You think you own that gun, but in reality it own you. One day you might be angry and used unlawfully and shot either an innocent person or yourself. Happens every single day. Well, I do have to agree with that one. I mean, only the most crazy people don't know they're crazy. I have to give it to you. That's why a quick, easy test, are you insane? If they say yes, they might be normal and messing with you. If they say no, they might be crazy and not know it. You think you own that gun, but in reality, it own you. What is this, Russia? The Soviet Union? Anyway, no, because it's an inanimate object. I could take my gun, put it in a box, and bury it in my backyard, and it won't know. It's an inanimate object. It has no feelings. It has no thoughts. It's an inanimate object. It's a hunk of metal and plastic and some other stuff. That's all it is. It's an inanimate object. That's it. People who say that, this is what bothers me. People who say things like that, I start thinking maybe you have some mental problems. You might be angry and use it unlawfully and shot either an innocent person or yourself. Happens every single day. Yeah, it does. It also happens with cars. It also happens with knives. It also happens with thousands of other things. People kill each other every single day. But only the guns are the ones that people have a problem with. People beating their children because they won't be quiet is not as big of an issue as guns sitting in people's drawers or safes or holsters. What does that say about you people who are against guns? Where you don't say anything about a child being beaten because it's crying, but you have a problem with my gun in my holster sitting there. You do not own guns for protection. You own guns because you like guns. No and yes. I have guns for protection. I have a 12 gauge shotgun. The only reason I bought that is for home defense. I do take it out and shoot it just for pleasure, but that's the only purpose it serves in my house. I have a Glock 27. The only reason I have that gun is concealed carry. The only reason I have it. Again, I shoot it for fun occasionally, but the only reason I have it is for protection. So, no. And, yeah, I have guns that I have because they're cool. I like them. And another thing about this is, you're telling me why I own things? And I'm crazy. Interesting. If you could reason with people, you people like you would not exist. Okay, I'm gonna have to do it. I have to say it. You people like you. A little redundant. I gotta say, a little redundant, man. Because the people who, my people like me, that are like me, yeah, okay. I can reason with people most times. That's not why I carry a gun. If if I wrong you in some way and you start yelling and screaming about it, I'm going to try and reason with you. And if you're a reasonable person, we can talk. I could apologize or what have you and carry on with our lives. It's the people who cannot be reasoned with. I carry a gun. There was a scenario I heard about where a guy was actually in a bar, and I don't agree with guns and alcohol being mixed together like that, but who knows, he could have been a designated driver. He could have been working as a DJ. I'm not really sure about that part. But basically, the guy thought he was checking out his woman, went over there, started, hey, why are you looking at my girl? And he said, I'm not, I'm just looking around. I'm sorry if that's what you thought. And the other guy kept going and going and screaming and yelling, pulled out a knife and said, I'm going to kill you. So the other guy pulls his pistol out and says, look, you need to calm down and put that knife down. The guy charged at him and shot him and killed him. One guy's trying to be reasonable. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it, but I'm sorry. Calm down. It's nothing. I'm sorry. Put the knife down or I'm going to kill you. That's reasonable. Trying to kill somebody, pulling a knife on somebody and threatening to kill somebody because you think, because I think you looked at my woman, that's unreasonable. I am not against gun owners. What I am against are loose gun laws. If more guns meant less crime, America would be the safest nation in the world, Mr. Redneck Person. If you look at it, yeah, the United States, first of all, America is either one or two continents, depending on how you look at the situation. North, South America. The United States is a country, or United States of America. If you look at the actual data, the United States of America is not as dangerous as a lot of people think it is. There are countries where you will go that you are advised not to go to because bad stuff happens there on a second-by-second basis. There are certain countries to where if you go to, you have a higher chance of being raped than coming out not raped. I mean, there are countries where it is absolutely horrible, where murders happen all the time. And I don't mean 4 or 5 a day. I'm talking 6, 7, 10, 15 every couple hours. There are countries where you don't go to. You do not go to. If you are not there, you don't go there. And if you are there, you try to get out of there. And if this was true, if no guns meant no crime, why is there crime in prisons? Why is there crime in countries that do not have guns? Then he ends with just reality check. Now there are 3 things I want to say. Three things I want to point to what he said. Guns should have never existed. Nobody should own a gun. Guns are a disgrace to mankind. I am not against gun owners. So 2 things basically saying that guns are bad, nobody should have guns. I mean, you literally said nobody should own a gun. You literally said guns are a disgrace, but you're okay with gun owners? What? Well, there you go. Mr. Michel Clivio, I believe it's your name. Sorry if I mispronounced it. I hear what you got to say about this.